Can't lay together now. We're fasting and praying for church.
But we are married now.
I know, but we have to be disciplined. I will leave this marriage for you if you kept questioning my loyalty to my pastor. I honor my pastor more than you.
The evening Pastor Adeyemi came for dinner, Ngozi set the table like she was expecting the president. She ironed the good tablecloth, the one Emeka had never seen used. She brought out the ceramic plates that had been sitting in the box since their wedding. She cooked jollof rice, fried plantain, and peppered goat meat, and she did it all humming worship songs under her breath. Emeka sat at the dining table, watching her float around the kitchen like she had wings. When the pastor finally arrived, Ngozi transformed. She laughed louder, she stood straighter. She spoke in that soft, careful voice she used when she wanted to impress someone. Then came the serving. She ladled rice onto the pastor's plate first, mounded high, neat. She reached into the pot and fished around deliberately, searching until she found the biggest cut of meat, the thick back leg with the bone still in, glistening with pepper. She placed it on his plate with both hands, then dipped into a slight bow. "Pastor, please manage this. The big one is for you." Pastor Adeyemi smiled and said God would bless her hands. Then she turned to Emeka. One scoop of rice, a smaller, bonier piece of meat dropped onto his plate without ceremony, without eye contact, without any bend of the knee. Emeka looked at his plate. He looked at the pastor's plate. He said nothing, but he saw everything. That was not the first time, and it was not the last. There was the Sunday Ngozi came home at 11 at night because the church's evening program had run long, and when Emeka asked why she hadn't called, she said he needed to understand that the things of God could not be rushed. There was the week of the church's 40-day fast, the one Pastor Adeyemi declared from the pulpit, when Ngozi moved herself to the couch and told Emeka that the body had to be disciplined. 6 days into the fast, Emeka saw her eating crackers in the kitchen at midnight. When he pointed it out, she told him he wouldn't understand spiritual things. There was the day the church needed funds for a new building project, and Ngozi transferred 40,000 naira, money they had saved together for Emeka's business, without asking, without telling, until the bank alert came to his phone. The pastor said whoever sows into this project will reap tenfold, she told him. Ngozi, I needed that money. God will provide, she said, and went back to her phone. Emeka complained. He complained quietly at first, then with his voice raised, then with long silences that filled the house like smoke. He told her he felt invisible in his own home. He told her that a man could only be humiliated so many times before something inside him broke. He told her that marriage was not something you served on a back burner while you fanned the flames somewhere else. She told him he was being spiritually immature. She told him he was jealous of the anointing. She told him that any man who loved God should be happy his wife was sold out for the kingdom. The problem arrived on a Thursday, the way problems usually do, quietly through a phone. Emeka had left his old phone on the dresser, and Ngozi, looking for a charger, picked it up. The screen lit up with a message from a name she didn't recognize. She opened it without thinking. What she read did not destroy her immediately. It settled into her slowly, like cold water rising. The woman's name was Chisom. The messages went back 4 months. They were warm and familiar in a way that told her everything without telling her anything explicitly. No photographs, no confessions, just two people talking to each other the way a husband and wife were supposed to. She confronted Emeka that night. He did not deny it. He did not confirm it either. He sat across from her with tired eyes and said, "I was lonely, Ngozi. I was right there in this house, and I was lonely." She wept. She raged. She called him a cheat and a sinner and said she had given him everything. He looked at her and said very quietly, "You gave me the small meat." They did not divorce, but something between them was reset, the way a broken bone is reset, painfully, imperfectly, with a scar that remains. Ngozi stopped bowing at the pastor's table, not because she loved God less, but because she finally understood that devotion poured in one direction had a way of hollowing out everything else. Emeka stayed, but he never fully came back either. They were still together, they just both knew now what the marriage had cost and who paid most of it. Sometimes the biggest mistake a woman makes is saving her reverence for a man who does not come home to her at night.